You're standing at the counter. Same tyre size, two prices. One costs £200 more. The man taps the expensive box, tells you it's safer, that the cheap one won't last. What he doesn't tell you, the same factory poured the rubber for both. Today, I checked 3 UK tyre retailers like I'd walk a family member through them. 2 are quietly overcharging you. 1 isn't. By the end, you get the 5 checks that stop it happening to you. Let's start with the one that stings most, the dealership. Here's the reflex almost everyone has. My car came from here, so they know my car, so they should fit the tyres. That feeling is exactly what's being sold to you. Because a dealership isn't a tyre shop, it's a car showroom with a tyre counter bolted to the side, and that counter runs one of the fattest markups in the building. Your car left the factory on original equipment tyres, often a genuine Michelin, Bridgestone or Continental. But the original equipment version and the replacement version on the shelf are frequently tuned differently for ride and noise, even sharing the same name, so you can pay a premium for a story, not an exact match. And the price gap is real. Checks this year found franchise dealers charging between 53% and 85% more than independent garages for the same work. One independent quoted £95 an hour for tyre work on a Vauxhall Astra. The dealer 2 miles away quoted £180. Same job, same tyre, nearly double, and that gap alone is bigger than most people's entire tyre bill. Zoom out, and the pattern holds across the industry. Dealer labour rates commonly run anywhere from £120 to £230 an hour against £45 to £90 at a good independent. You're not paying for better rubber, you're paying for the branded workshop, the courtesy car, and the badge on the invoice when the tyre going onto your wheel is very often identical stock either way. Unless your car's still under warranty and they're covering it, or you drive something so rare the tyre only comes from one place, the dealership is the single most expensive door you can walk through. It's convenience priced like a luxury. Which brings us to Retailer 2, the national chain, the one with rows of rubber and a waiting room. In Britain that's largely quick fit, and I want to be fair, plenty of their fitters do genuinely good work in the bay. But the whole model leans on one thing, you assuming the shelf price is the honest price when it's really the opening move. One driver was quoted £85 for a drop link that costs around £10 almost everywhere else. Another was quoted £130 for a wishbone, worth roughly £50. A wiper blade came to £24, about double the going rate. As one review put it plainly, quick fit are never going to be the cheap option. They trade on convenience and the name on the shop front. None of this means every fitter there is dishonest. Plenty of the actual mechanical work is fine, but the pricing model is built around a shelf number that's really just where the conversation starts, and the extras are where the real margin gets made. Here's the check that saves you the most money anywhere you shop. Find out who actually makes the tyre. Walk along the budget shelf and you'll see names most drivers assume are no-name filler. Firestone is owned outright by Bridgestone. Kleber has been owned by Michelin since 1981. Uniroyal in Britain and across Europe has been owned by Continental since 1979. And here's the one that catches British drivers out every time. Dunlop, about as British a name as tyres get, has been owned by the American giant Goodyear for years. These aren't knockoffs, they're the exact same engineering rolled downhill onto a cheaper badge, so when a salesman steers you up to the flagship for safety, understand what's actually happening. He's moving you up the price ladder, not the safety ladder. The development money was already spent years ago, recouping the flagship's research. The tooling already exists. So rolling that same engineering downhill onto a cheaper badge costs the parent company almost nothing. And it lets them catch the driver who won't pay full price without cheapening the name on their showroom sign. Before we move on to the last retailer, let me first cover the 5 tips to make a better informed decision for your next set of tyres. Run these checks anywhere on any tyre at any retailer, and you stop being someone who gets moved off their own money. Check 1, the date code. Every tyre carries a 4-digit stamp on the sidewall, the first 2 digits are the week, the last 2 the year, so a code reading 3223 was built in week 32 of 2023. Rubber Age is even sitting in a warehouse, and shops will sell you 3 or 4-year-old stock at full new tyre price without blinking. Look for that code before you pay, and if it's old, ask for fresher stock or a discount. Check 2, who really makes it? Exactly what we just covered, look up the parent company before you dismiss a cheaper name. Check 3, read the tyre label. Since Brexit, Britain still uses the same label as the rest of Europe. 3 grades on a coloured sticker, fuel efficiency from A to E, wet grip from A to E, based on how far your car travels braking at 50 miles an hour on a wet road, and noise from A to C in decibels. British tyres don't carry an American-style mileage number, so for how long the tread will actually last, check independent reviews, not the shop's own sales pitch. The label tells you how a tyre behaves, the reviews tell you how long it survives, and you genuinely need both before you hand over a card. Check 4, the fully fitted price, not the sticker price. Fitting typically runs £8 to £15 a tyre, balancing another £5 to £10, a new valve £2 to £3, disposal £2 to £4, and if your car needs it, a TPMS sensor reset can add another £5 to £10 a corner. A tyre priced £20 cheaper on one site can end up the more expensive choice once every one of those is added on. Always ask for the all-in total for 4 tyres on the ground before you decide anything, in writing if you can get it, because a verbal quote has a habit of growing once you're back in the waiting room. Check 5, what's included after the sale, for free for the life of the tyre. Rotation, rebalancing, a puncture repair, accidental damage cover. At some retailers, every single one of those is a fresh charge, every single visit year after year. At one of these 3, it's baked into what you already paid, and over several years, that difference can run into hundreds of pounds you never had to spend. There is one more bonus check that I will share at the end, and it is one that you can do straight after this video. Before that, I will talk about the 3rd retailer, the one that actually passes, the warehouse club. And in Britain, that means Costco. I know the objection already. It costs money just to walk through the door. Here's what's actually happening. Costco makes its money from the £42 annual membership, not from squeezing you at the tyre counter, so the whole model is built to keep you renewing, not to catch you on extras. On price, that same size Michelin that would cost you around £115 to £125 fitted at Quick Fit, or around £110 to £118 at Halfords, runs closer to £82 to £92 fitted at Costco, a genuine £20 to £40 a tyre in savings, £80 to £160 across a set. On what's included, every tyre comes with a 5-year warranty against accidental damage, a puncture, a curb strike, a blowout, replaced free or refunded pro rata if it can't be repaired, plus free rotation every 7,500 miles for the life of the tyre. And this isn't a rebadged value line the way the budget shelf is at other retailers. It's the exact same Michelin, Continental or Bridgestone you'd buy anywhere else, just without the dealership markup or the quick fit upsell built into the price. Costco doesn't need to invent a cheaper badge to make its margin because the membership fee already did that job months before you ever walked in. The real downsides are real though. Costco only runs 29 warehouses across the whole UK, so plenty of drivers simply don't live near one. The range is whatever they choose to stock, not the full catalogue, and you cannot walk in without a membership. But run the 5 checks against Costco and it passes clean. It's the one that isn't overcharging you because its money comes from your membership, not from your rotation fee. But here's the thing, all 3 of those retailers are still steering you toward a famous name on the box. Nobody at any counter has a reason to mention the tyre, with no premium parent behind it at all. Brands like Nexon or Kumho, names plenty of drivers assume are a gamble. Let me be honest about the real weaknesses, because that's the whole point of this. On some of the cheapest models, the tread doesn't last quite as long as a top-tier tyre, and wet grip on the lowest end can trail the big names by a car length in a hard stop. That's not nothing. But for a driver doing normal miles in a commuter car, a set of these can cost £70 to £150 less than the premium equivalent, and still carry the exact load and speed rating your car needs. Run the checks, match the load and speed ratings on your door frame exactly, and never downgrade those 2 numbers to save money, because that's the one corner that's about safety, not comfort. Get that right, and the difference between a bargain and a hazard isn't the price on the tyre at all, it's simply whether you did the checks first. Get that right, and a no-name tyre stops being a gamble and starts being the smartest set on your driveway. Here's the bonus check. One thing you can do immediately. No shop, no tools, no appointment needed. Open your driver's door and look at the sticker on the frame, usually right where the door meets the pillar. It lists your car's correct tyre size, load index, and speed rating, the numbers your car was actually engineered around. Photograph it on your phone. That photo is your shield at any of these 3 counters, because if a tyre meets or beats those numbers, it's safe for your car, whatever the badge on the sidewall says or whatever it costs.